Hey guys, it's me, EODGamer here, and today we're going to talk about Kafka's Eidolons. Some of you maybe have been saving up or planning to pull for a rerun or just whale out. Whatever it is, we're going to talk about all of the Eidolons, and I'm going to share with you my thought process on which ones are maybe key ones that you want to stop at, or maybe you could consider as pretty decent amounts of value. Now, I want to just do a disclaimer. This is not my Kafka, it's one of my friends. I'm just showing the graphics here to make it just easier rather than everything grayed out. It's not going to be as nice on screen as well. I have her at E0 currently, and I've done a lot of videos on the channel already for you guys, free-to-play players who just like have her at E0. Take a look on the channel. I think you'll be quite interested in the comparison videos also with Jingyuan that we recently did too. But anyway, this is going to be a specific for Eidolon video. Let's talk first about E1. When the talent triggers a follow-up attack, there's basically a 100% base chance to increase the DOT received by target by 30% for 2 turns. This turns her like somewhat into more of supportive of a nihility character rather than being like a procer of DOT as well as more of an offensive DPS oriented unit. Does make her a bit more long shelf life since the chance of being power crap will be lower, especially if you offer a bit more supportive roles too. E2 is also another reason that turns her more towards a supportive side. When she's on the field, DOT of all your allies increase by 25%. In future, if we have a character that does bigger numbers, power creeps in that sense, I think that she still can be played as a secondary DPS, where you just put her as a secondary DOT damage dealer, making her very, very flexible and more resistant to power creep than some other characters in the game who like specifically relies on attack. Just to put it out here, out of all 6 of the Eidolons, the best one in my opinion is E2. Unfortunately, in my opinion, like these two I think were in the CBT way back in 2022 when I started playing Kafka. This was used to be a part of her ultimate as well as a skill ability, but now they shifted it out. Of course, knowing that she's a popular character, so people might be willing to spend more, pull for her reruns and stuff like that. But either way, I still think that she works very fantastically at E0. I did an honest review guide on her already at E0. Check it out if you're interested on the channel. But E2 definitely probably will be my first major stopping point. I think this turns her into a very long shelf life character that you can pretty much use for years maybe, or at least 6 months to a year to come as well. So E3, E5, I'm just going to go over it real quick. I think E5 is the better one. She does use more damage from ultimate talent, much more than the skill and basic attack. But of course, they put the more expensive or the better one that is more expensive at E5 as we go along the way to E6 as well. So E3, not super vital. I think E2 probably will be like better value per Eidolon or value for money account kind of thing. E4, when enemy takes damage from shock inflicted by Kafka, she regenerates energy. This E4 is a game changer in a sense where you can switch up your builds quite easily. If you think about her link rope right now, she likely is going to be running energy restoration rate quite often on a lot of Kafka builds. With this, you can stray away from that and you can actually focus more on maybe attack percentage. Break effect does change out her playstyle in a little bit because of the build combos that you can do, but I think that if you talk about her overall longevity of the account, I think E2 makes a more significant difference since she really makes her more into a playstyle of being more of a support. Of course, E1 and E2 are kind of like compounded effect on her in totality. E4 is like standalone, just makes her easier to build in that sense. You don't really need an energy restoration rate link rope to get her uptime on ultimate ability. So E6, the last one, this is the most expensive one and the nicest graphic, if I may say so myself. Maybe I'll get her eventually here if I can afford it one day. But the shock inflicted on the enemy target by ultimate, technique, or talent triggered follow-up attacks that she does has a damage multiplier increase of 156%. This is very, very massive. It just increases the amount of damage. I don't think it crits also because this is based on shock. So that's one thing to know. It does incentivize you to stray away from like crit Kafka builds, which some people might be running at E0, and definitely shifting more towards a DOT aspect towards especially E6 Kafkas as well. And it lasts 1 turn longer, which is nice. It just gives it more uptime on your shock ability that you inflict as well. So overall, my thoughts: best value E2, nicest graphic E6. Which one changes her playstyle the most? E2. I think this is probably the most value, but does she work well at E0? I think so. I talked about it in this review, E0 honest review right here, where I do every single patch. And like, comment, subscribe. Check out this video here if you're interested in more Kafka content. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.